All right, what's going on today? Daniel, Mr. Cuervo Racing here. We got a new product for you. And those guys who don't know, we don't just do videos and reviews and install stuff. We're actually full shop. Do everything from your intake exhaust all the way up to full built drag motors, dirt oval, dunes, trail, all those type of builds and products. So hit us up if you do need something, and we can take care of you. But what we got going on today is we have a new product, something we did in the past, and we've came back to it, and have more viable options for components to use now that make it more cost effective. So what we have is a early-on fan thermal switch setup kit that is bolt on and easy to install and easy to remove if you ever want to remove it. So what the issue we're addressing is the factory fan turns on in measured range from what I've seen, 225 to 235 range, which is too hot for most guys with built motors, or if you're running the trail, that bike's just creating a bunch of heat, so it's uncomfortable if you're not moving very fast. So what we are doing is this kit is going to turn on the fan early using all the factory relay components and keeping the factory system intact as well. So we're just overriding the factory fan relay and turning it on early at right about 200 degrees. So what we have, show you this kit. These are kits ready to go out the door. What we got here is we got an assembly that goes in the upper radiator hose with a switch on it, and then clamps and zip ties and a T-tap, which we don't use, but we're including it just in case you want to use it. We'll show you how to do this install here shortly. And then we have a wire harness pre-measured, built out, direct bolt on. So this applies for all years 06 through 2020 Raptor 700. So we're going to cut to doing an install. All right, so first thing we got to do is we got to cut the upper radiator hose, and we're going to cut about an inch of length out of it. I use hose cutters. You can take the hose off and cut it with a razor blade or whatever works for you. So we are going to cut a little over an inch or so out of it. And that's going to be the length of our sensor assembly. One hose clamp on that side. Push the sensor in. So on these sensors, I'm going to leave this kind of pointing out so we can see how that wiring goes. But you can also rotate the sensor inboard, so you don't have to see the wires, or you can mount this sensor a little bit further up this way as well. This is just going to be ease of access for video right now. So we do have length on the wire harness to give room for that. So clamp gets tightened in, other clamp on. Alright, so we got our clamps tight, and that's just hanging out there. That goes to the head, obviously. So next thing to do is a wire harness install. So we have our wire harness. It has two spade terminals on the sensor and on the end of the wire harness. So those are going to connect here. Let's see, sorry about that. All right. So these spades go on here. You can either go forward or backwards on this harness. There's enough length, like I said, to do either. And like I said, you can rotate this sensor to where it's going to be inside, to where you won't see it if you don't want to see it. So we can go on that way, or we can go this way. Either way, whatever routing works for your taste and what you want to see or not. So this wire harness is going to run back. We're going to place some zip ties here, come over the top of your fuel rail and back toward the back of the bike. Alright, so to make it short and sweet, basically, got the wire harness, go to the negative side of the battery, and the rest of the wire harness will run in and tuck in, going toward the back of the bike here. Let me just pull this off. Alright, I think this will be better. So we're running that wire harness back and around, depending on what airbox and all that you got on your bike. This may or may not change how you're routing it, but there's room. Negative battery terminal, back around, and we are going to go and take off that strap there. We're going to take off that fuse box and pull up both of these. If they'll cooperate, pull up both of those relays. Alright, so once we get to this point, we're going to find the rear relay, not the one that has this bulk attached to it, but the fan relay is this one here. And we're going to look for, boy, there's terrible focus today. We're going to look for this yellow wire with the red stripe on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this spade, this mill spade in, we're going to run it in that connector into just right alongside that crimp area there. Okay, so at this point we fed that last connector into the back of the relay, the fan relay, the yellow wire with the red stripe, and we zip tied that wire to the harness to secure it. Now this is where that other T-tap comes in. You can T-tap that wire, and that's why we include it if you wish to do that. Personally, I don't like using T-taps, so I prefer to do it this way. But if that connection is not real tight, sliding it into the back of that relay, then you can choose to use the T-tap or solder it in if that's in your skill set. So we get to this point and we're just going to tuck that wire harness back in. It's all going to go back in the same place where it came. And then that's it. And then we're done. So at that point we will have fan control that comes on about 20 degrees cooler than stock. And reduce some heat. So some of these are stubborn. All right, there we go. Can't always make it look easy. So that is all back in place. So now when you run your bike, it's going to turn on early and reduce that heat of riding, reduce the potential of overheating and head gasket issues. And a lot of guys will choose to put a switch just an on-off switch, or wire that fan directly to power. And when they're doing that, they're not using a fuse on the system. They're bypassing the factory thermal switch setup, and having potential to both not let the bike warm up properly, which can cause issues, as well as potential for killing the battery. So this is a great solution that doesn't interfere with anything. Basically, the only thing that's getting modified is that upper radiator hose. So that's it. I hope you guys like this product. We are going to be posting a link in the description, and posting them on eBay, and then selling them direct too. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day.